Ahí lo veis claro en el jardín a Lufo. Yo lo dos beta, por eso te pida. Tengo surreal. Cuando pasó por las noches, lo ves en pantalla, que es como mi Sony, que le dio imposible a la vista. Yo estoy como de mi helio, lo llamáis el invento. Pero el invento de quién es. El invento de quién es. Lo llamáis el invento, las patentáis cero. El invento de quién es. ¿Os visteis las caras por televisión que dan la copia? Es más antiguo, eso es by the mil en inglés. Se mete flowers in the morning. Ahí no se hace con la mano eso. Ahora es todo malo, don Juan. Pero era todo bueno. Era todo bueno y me todo el lufo en la oreja, delito. Toqué el pen blue. Ese es el pen blue. Lleva, os para el tiempo vas a pronunciar palabras y yo veo los ojos. Anca es. Y tiene ya la ropa, y trae la mezcla. Patillas pillar mierda cuando me veías en el ático. Y al gatito, patillas pillar mierda, eso. A tiempo real, las televisiones tenían canal satélite digital. Babel, Amores Perros. Volver, darle con ella. La de la línea roja, Forrest Gump. Tenía canal satélite digital. Es by de mil, eso. ¿Cómo será mi helio? Eso de mil quizá. Itis. Helio. ¿Cómo de helio, helio? Pero no hacen cristianos, son morinos. Es un desnudo de vista. Ahí votaba a Donald Trump por rubio.
Such an important conversation, Eleanor. Thank you so much for coming on the program. At this hour, the head of FEMA is on Capitol Hill, appearing before the House Oversight Committee, the second of two appearances she's making on the Hill today. Deanna Criswell is there to defend her agency's hurricane response and answer allegations that relief workers were told to avoid the homes of Trump supporters. Republicans with tough questions for Criswell after a Florida FEMA worker says she was directed to avoid homes with Trump signs. Criswell did fire that employee, but Republicans want to know more.
Y con la luz del cigarro, yo vi el molino. Perdí el camino, vale. Perdí el camino. Y con la luz del cigarro, yo vi el molino. Perdí el camino, vale. Y con la luz del cigarro, yo vi el molino. En la bahía del Caí. España, Lane. Con la luz del cigarro, yo vi el molino. Perdí el camino, vale. Donde Juana.
She had with Republican members, specifically as they questioned her around these reports of staff on the ground in
understand why Americans lack confidence in FEMA leadership? You understand that.
Trust is the most important thing that we can have in government.
Again,
And
you
to
would
have
say
one
yes.
individual,
Can I put you down as a yes that you do understand why so many people are upset?
it is unacceptable why this one person made this direction, and I can understand
Yes.
why they are upset.
And so typically in these kinds of hearings, Chris, we look to what the fiery moments were, but then we also look to the action items. And you played one of them right at the outset of this segment where the head of FEMA says
Han votado por tercera vez a Putin.
with an inspector
Eso
general
no es constitución. Yo no estoy con el gobierno ruso de suman Ucrania.
to do.
Ali Vitale, thank you for that. Well, we just witnessed the most severe showing yet of a law that critics say China is using
Eso se lo inventan, el UFO no viene. Yo le puedo poner al vecino, la viento.
to up to 10 years in prison because of their connections to an unofficial primary election in 2020.
¿Sabéis, Willow y Namaya? Try to make to say on fire.
In 2019, that law reduced Hong Kong's autonomy over judicial proceedings and criminalized anything considered opposition to the Chinese government. And coming up, the race to lead the DNC has started as layoffs there are being blasted by the workers' union. You're watching Chris Jancy Reports only on MSNBC.
There's a lot to listen to on TuneIn.
Welcome to the hotel in California. Such a lovely place. Such a lovely place.
Just find your new favorite radio
This could be heaven or this could be hell. Me pone a 2 y a las 7 y el UFO. Pero él acabó con mi padre, que es Darth Vader. Él está dentro de la atmósfera, eso sale perdiendo el UFO conmigo. Ten paciencia, porque él no sabía nada de tecnología. Ahora tenéis 30 portales en Estados Unidos, redes sociales, criptomonedas. Ahora mismo ya la viento, eso. No sabía nada de tecnología, estaba perdiendo el UFO conmigo en mi padre, eso. Lo tiene más antiguo en tierra rusa. Y somos raza rubia. Porque va mejor de vista y de ojos claros.
Call Finance of America and get your free info kit. Call 800-963-9445.
You're okay.
Estaba perdiendo el UFO conmigo en mi padre, no sabía nada de tecnología. Bueno, los críos del tercer imperio iban rubios. Ahí ahora Magda.
They take your information, they do the research, they compare plans,
Con la
and
voz.
they recommend the plan that best meets your needs.
Es mayor que yo, Poligonzález,
With prescription
Poligonzález,
vision care,
Pentagonzález,
preventative care services, plus extra benefits that
a
cost
Pentagonzález, el
It's
Pentágono,
perfect. And the service is free.
inteligencia artificial, Pentagonzález.
That's right for them. First, we listen to learn what your needs and priorities are. Then, using our proprietary
Pentagon,
fit technology, we
Poligón,
compare needs to the features and benefits of
Policlínica.
Medicare carriers in America, like Cigna Healthcare, Humana, United Healthcare, and WellCare, to find the best plan for you and your budget. Whether you're looking for a plan with prescription drug coverage, vision care, dental care, hearing care, and more.
Además que este 2024 es mi sueño, es mi nightmare.
You can afford.
I'm calling.
If you're trying to
Además que este 2024 es mi nightmare.
or new to Medicare, GoHealth can help. The call is free. Our service is free. There's no risk and no obligation.
Alright, girl.
Get the right Medicare Advantage plan for you at a price you can afford.
Call 800-880-5886 or go to gohealth.com now. That's 800-880-5886 or go to gohealth.com now. Don't do it yourself. Call GoHealth.
I've been driving a truck all my life. A bear ran across the front of my truck, and I had to avoid him instead of hitting him. I got a good settlement for it and everything, and Dad helped me to go out and acquire gold and silver. I got the brochure from U.S. Money Reserve, and that's when I decided I can make more money with this than I could have leaving it in the bank. Because if I put 20 grand of paper in there, and I had 20 grand of gold, paper ain't gonna make me any money. I just bought it because it's my insurance policy.
If you want to
Maybe you have blue eyes.
gold should be an important part of your portfolio. Pick up the
El
phone.
mío es el Daniel,
The complete guide
tu
to
primo,
buying
tu
gold,
hermano.
which will provide you with
Mi hermano me
important,
ama.
never seen before facts you should know about making gold purchases.
U.S. Money Reserve is one of the most dependable gold distributors in
¿Cuántos
America.
primos tengo? El mío es el Daniel.
Race is on for who will lead the Democratic
Yo me llamo
National Committee
David.
at a time when the party faces a major inflection point. So far, two candidates have launched bids, former Maryland governor and one-time presidential candidate Martin O'Malley, and Minnesota Democratic Party Chair Ken Martin. NBC's Natasha Korecki has the latest on the DNC leadership race. Also with me, former executive director of the New York State Democratic Party.
¿Cuántos primos tengo?
Michael. So Natasha, tell us what more
El
we know
sobrino.
about who is putting their names into this leadership race. How are things shaping up?
Well, right now it's an official race because we had Minnesota Party Chair Ken Martin enter the race today.
Cuestan, ¿qué te crees que esta reúnes?
Maryland and former presidential candidate, he entered first. So it's an official race, but there are many more names circulating. Chief among them is Wisconsin Party Chair Ben Winkler, who is very popular within the party.
But with the clouds in my eyes.
However,
Get out of my cloud.
um,
Get out of my cloud.
of another group, a Democratic chair.
The Rolling Stones.
He is getting a lot of traction early on. So we're seeing various names.
The red tail eyes in his spine. Daniel is travel tonight on a plane.
Former Chicago mayor, on and on.
Daniel, my
His name
brother.
is also getting floated out there. We have sources telling us that he has reached out to some DNC members. We also have sources telling us that his interest is tepid. He is interested, but he's exploring other potential, perhaps elected positions once he
Vete de mí, tú debes ser tanto perfumado de azul.
moving parts right now. The only woman we've heard come forward, or whose name has been floated, she has not come forward herself.
Y ves fantasmas en la noche de luz.
Senator. So that's where we are right now. A lot of names coming forward. This is just 2 weeks after the Democrats lost, a devastating loss to Donald Trump, and they're really trying to rebuild from the bottom up.
Ismael.
All right, not obviously just the presidential race that they lost. They lost all of the blue wall states. They did far worse than I think most Democrats hoped or expected that they would. So give me sort of the outline of the job, because I'm not sure a lot of people even know what a DNC chair does.
You know, I'm going to go back to Howard Dean, who had a 50-state strategy and when he was chair, and I think that is really appropriate to look at every state Democratic Party because it's its own organization, to be able to help those parties recruit candidates for office, particularly in areas where Democrats might not be that strong, those of rural and suburban communities, and to be able to raise money. This is a huge deal because when the president or the leaders of the party actually go around the country and raise money. There were these joint fundraising agreements that were pretty controversial in 2016, but they actually
Jacqueline was
give
17.
the local parties enough money to build the infrastructure to run candidates. So where the DNC tends to be focused on presidents, and senators, you really want them to be able to strengthen the 50-plus state infrastructure to be able to get the bottom of the ticket also represented.
I remember back when Hillary Clinton was running for president, and there always has been criticism about whether she, tried to expand too much. I was in Utah, where even Democratic Party officials were shocked that there were a couple of people there working for the campaign. The 50-state strategy seems like, at least on paper, okay, great idea. Aren't we all altruistic? But as a realistic goal, what do you? Let's take it into the here and now.
There's one
What does the
contact
DNC chairman
single.
need to do in a party where a lot of its people are reeling?
Yeah, no doubt there are going to be several theories of
There's
change
one
going
contact
forward in the
single.
Democratic Party. Going back to 2017, when you had Keith Ellison, who was really leading a progressive charge, and it seemed like the Obama folks were coming in and saying, we kind of want Tom Perez there. Really contentious, very split, and a lot of progressives weren't very happy with the turnout, even though Keith became a sort of co-chair or deputy chair. So what I think this next chair needs to do is really go to the states and embrace, I think, the challenges that parties have had in the last, I would say, few cycles. That coalition that I think Jesse Jackson created, that Rainbow Coalition, is 30 plus years old, but I think it's a coalition that a lot of Democrats largely rely upon. They really need to go back to the drawing board and figure out who are our voters, who we need to go after, and they need to go everywhere.
All right, well, to that point, I want to play for you what Senator Sherrod Brown, who just lost re-election, but kept it a lot closer. I think he did 3 points better than Kamala Harris did.
Hai questo basta andare il 24 bastardo.
We've got to talk directly to workers.
Basta
Restore the tradition of the history.
al Batman.
Democrats being the party of workers, not just union workers, whether you punch a clock or swipe a badge or work for tips or care for an aging parent or raising children. We've got to be that party in focus on the dignity of work. We didn't do that over the last 3 years. We paid this price where far too many workers.
All right there.
Well, I think there's another part of that argument that a lot of people have been voicing, which is that you don't just have to talk.
To the right or to the left?
You have to listen, and that is
To
something
the
that
right or to
did
the
not
left?
do in this cycle. Is that the job of the DNC chairman? And what do you make of the people?
To the right or to the left?
Ken Martin, Ben Wickler was a very frequent guest on this network over the course of this election.
What the DNC needs to do, what I'm saying before, just really pay attention to state parties. Every state's going to be a little different, but I think the governor is absolutely correct. You've got to go and kind of replenish that base. And I think there are examples of that. Labor unions have been recruiting national workers, for example, they've been organizing McDonald's and Amazon. So there's actually an attempt to do it with individuals and groups that are generally part of the Democratic Coalition. But I can always go back to something like Ireland and
To the right or to the left? Follow the leader. Our day, a public enemy followed me the other day. I say, never mind, go away. Don't cover your head, you're not alone. Everybody has
So maybe you don't want to be a professional.
sometimes everybody cries.
They're darn good.
Roy Orbison, no es pretty woman, crying, el UFO. Roy Orbison, no es pretty woman, crying,
This time, though, for what he did at the Capitol on January 6th.
just crying.
Looking for an app to hear all your favorite music, news, sports, and more? We've got all your audio in one place right here on TuneIn. Play your favorite stations, like Kate Buena. ESPN Radio.
Con los años que nos quedan por vivir, demostraré cuánto te quiero. Gloria Estefan, sé que aún nos queda una oportunidad. Sé que aún no es tarde para recapacitar. Sé que nuestro amor es verdadero y con los años que nos quedan por vivir demostraré cuánto te quiero.
You need new replacement windows, but you're just not sure if they're in the budget this year, right? I'm Brian Gary here with Ted Coons from Renewal by Anderson, and he's here to talk about how to make window replacement more affordable.
Well, first, Brian, you don't have to do them all. You could just replace your worst windows first. Or another way to make them affordable is to change the style of window. For example, you could do a gliding window instead of a casement. We have a lot of ways to make window projects really affordable.
Compared to other window companies, you have a completely different business model.
Yeah, with other companies, there's just too many people involved in the process. There's the manufacturer, the seller, and then the installer, and then the customer. And if you call with a problem, that's when they say, oh,
And you can tell everybody this is your son.
or vice versa.
Very quite simple.
Anderson. With us, there's no passing the buck.
Is the green or the blue?
Install and warrant our windows and patio doors. So if there's ever an issue, we take full responsibility for it.
Why don't you sell vinyl windows?
It doesn't matter if it's a $200 window.
You can tell everybody this is your son.
For energy efficiency and beauty.
And maybe quite simple,
Windows, Fibrex composite material. In 9 designer colors.
a juguetón man, a juguetón man.
Low maintenance like vinyl, but stronger than vinyl. And it's beautiful like wood, but doesn't require the upkeep of wood.
Sound the roof and keep up the most well a few of the verses where they catch me quite close.
Get $45 off every
Well, I
window before you buy,
write
and
this
pay nothing
song.
for a year. Don't miss our Black Friday savings event. For a free
You can tell everybody this is their song.
1-800-460-7700. That's 1-800-460-7700.
The online store that was just reached has my payment info.
During the holidays, think of all the places that can expose your info. LifeLock monitors millions of data points for identity theft. If there's a problem, we fix it, guaranteed.
Slow it down, get it going slower. I survey, get your GA going slower.
Camino Soria. Mi machado gana pan. Lentamente da las hojas a pasar. Y el cielo empieza a hablar.
What is sport? It's more than training a dog and drills at the dog. It goes beyond the gym
Camino Soria.
and on to the stage. Sport inspires, it entertains, and challenges. So ask yourself, is this sport? Yeah, even that. Sport is everywhere. Sport is everything.
Beat officers with a baton on January 6th at the Capitol was just in court today?
Sure, it's a little bit of it's a range that the sentence could have fallen into. So his defense team wanted a below sentence guideline. The judge ultimately landed on a sentence within the guidelines, although not as much as prosecutors had asked for here. But this was a really remarkable case because it involved another identification by online sedition hunters, and then eventually the FBI got around to arresting this individual. When they went to his house, they actually found an AR-15 there, which he wasn't supposed to have because he had been court-martialed and had been held in confinement by the military after shooting an Iraqi civilian who was handcuffed in the head. So you can see him there on the screen, lots of photos from the sentencing memo, and he was acting as security for a rally attendee that day and eventually made his way into the lower west